Hey, here we are, back again. It's time for the big boy CounterCast. This is where. Why am I doing this voice? This is where we talk about card games and shit.
Yeah, no, this is a special one because we're only doing a short one for you. So.
Yeah, it's mostly just like bit of some stragglers and a bit of some announcements, but mostly the ban list, just because we got those sweet YouTube clicks.
Yeah, no, it's fresh. It's nice. It's nice to be on time. I normally miss this by like quite a while.
Yeah, I guess we'll just start with the ban list real quick. Get fucked VFD, Lamau. Get fucked Utopic Zexal, Lamau. Get fucked Carrier, Lamau.
Yeah, everything that should have gone is now pretty much gone from the current format.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Yeah, both Carrier and Benton getting hit at the same time is going to be a bit hard for Drytrons, but they do have the Ixies coming, so that might help them kind of work around some of their issues.
Yeah, I feel like that's like an inherent issue with the card itself. It should have never been like non-specific to like non-unions.
Yeah, it's I don't really know why they made Carrier that way. It was kind of a weird thing and just led to a lot of degeneracy. But it's nice to see that like one of the victims, Buster Sword, is back, even though people are already kind of speculating about shit to do with DMZ Dragon. But I've seen people go back and forth on that.
Yeah, it'll be fine, I think. Like because it never existed in a space before Carrier, and I don't think it'll get much after.
Yeah, you're probably right. We will ultimately have to wait and see. There were a lot of things on this list that were just like, they don't really need to be at 1 anymore. Like Rusty Bardiche, Ignister, I guess True King's Return.
There's also like the erratas for Firewall and Dulan.
Yeah, the errata brothers. Except Firewall is like, I think for the first time in the game's history, I could totally be wrong about this. They're kind of putting an extra stipulation on. Haha, Lamau, you have to wait until the next product comes out to play it, because they don't. They're really wary of people going back to Firewall loops.
Yeah, well, I feel like we're in a scenario where who cares? There's basically no organised play, and another thing's like Firewall's also missing quite a lot of the components that made it broken in the first place because they're also banned.
Yeah, like parts of the Nightmare engine, but it's also just. I'm still surprised that Cannon Soldier has been allowed to like walk free this long.
Yeah, it's in a weird place. It's like what do you call it? The turtle.
Purgatory.
What's the Cannon Turtle thing? Catapult turtle.
Oh yeah, or Amazoness Archer, I guess.
Yeah, how these things just exist that cause FTKs, but they just let it slide.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I imagine at some point in the future, like someone will come up with Cannon Soldier, where it's like, all right, we need to quit this. And the funniest part is they're gonna have to kill Toon Cannon Soldier too, because they made that card for some reason.
Cannon Soldier, but searchable.
Just why would you do that?
Speaking of searchable, Argent Chaos Force. This is exciting for me as someone who quite enjoys gimmick puppets, and I think a lot of the problem with it was like even back then, it was only used for its niche graveyard effect. Everything else about it is just not very good.
That sounds about right. God, I haven't even read the card in a long while. I just know that because it recurred, like people would do stupid things involving Zexal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think you'd use like Utopia the Lightning rank up, and that would add it back to hand, and then you discard it for Zexal.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a.
But now what you can do is you can rank up your rank 8 into something like a Giant Grinder, C95. You can rank that up into Pain Gainer, which is rank 11.
Make your opponent Pain gain.
And then you can add it. You can add it back to hand, and then summon Numeronius. So you can actually play Numeronius without any of the Numeron cards. But why would you do that?
Don't you still need to what is it?
It's just the the original Numeronius, not the rank 13.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say to get anywhere else, it's a lot of work for a single targeting pop.
I've seen people do more for less.
Thank you, Mecha Phantom Beasts.
But yeah, other than that, there's a few other thoughts. Like Dino wasn't hit at all.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the problem because the last format was primarily these two decks. I think Konami kind of
Let it slip.
pigeonholed themselves.
Mm.
They weren't really looking at, okay, what else is going to be around. I think they were mostly just like, all right, we need to get rid of this issue immediately and now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of like it's like the elephant in the room. Like every now and again, Dino will always sort of sneak in and just take a tournament.
It's amazing that they're that sneaky considering their size, but yeah.
Who are we to judge? Nah, I'd say limit Fossil Dig and Miscellaneous again. I think they'd be fine.
Yeah, Misk would probably be fine at 1. Yeah. But after that, I think it's, what is it? It's friggin' gosh dang Ancient Guardians, but the Stragglers, the other two idiots that we forgot.
No, we didn't forget. They just weren't revealed.
Yeah, should we talk? Let's just talk about the last Earth's Arctic card first.
Yes, Melody of Awakening Bears.
Bears.
But no, it's good. I like it. It makes it makes it more playable.
Yeah, it searches and it
Banishes for the cost.
Yeah, it banishes to kind of cover the tribute cost. I don't know. It's a necessary card, but I
feel like it's there to like as a crutch for the intentionally bad design.
Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh!
First deck build pack, right?
And after that,
now for the new hotness, or Abyss, reptiles in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Finally, it's been 10,000 years.
Look at the snake rain that I just found.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything groundbreaking. I think the most people I've seen do with it, I've seen like a lair deck.
Yeah.
Because there's just some tributing going on.
So I'll be honest, I kind of fucking hate these.
No, I'm indifferent to them. I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah, that's kind of my main issue. They all have such steep costs that it really is absurd, and a lot of them don't really do much aside from, I think it was Aaron, who I think still needs to kind of work in tandem with Amnesia, like the level 8s. And I guess you can do like chaos stuff with them too, because they're all light and dark.
Yeah, I think they really did intentionally go out their way to balance it around Snake Rain and the amount of advantage that could generate.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to see another reptile deck after so long, but it's kind of sad to see that they're still not really good.
We'll see. The follow-up support tends to sort of be a nice pick-me-up in the following months.
Yeah.
I think the clear-cut winner is probably the Pendulum.
Oh wait, real quick, can we talk about the field spell?
Oh yeah, it's not great, is it?
This is the worst field spell I've ever seen in my fucking life.
It is the Crawler field spell, but worse.
The Crawler field spell achieves something though.
Yeah, non-targeted send versus whatever. What does it even do? I can't remember what it does anymore.
It's a target send, but it's okay, so this is a field spell that has an effect. It's if a reptile you control is destroyed, you can target a card and send it to the graveyard.
I mean,
but
non-destruction is nice, but
it is. But my problem is that they did give it a field zone quote-unquote protection effect, which is you get to mill your opponent's deck.
Oh, we too many mid-2000s now.
And I'm legitimately baffled by that effect. Why? Why would you do that? What do you gain from this? Are you playing against Majolches? I assure you there are better decks that could counter Majolches than whatever the hell this is.
Yeah, they are just a little underwhelming.
I don't know. they're like evil eyes for me. They've got so many like weird things where it's like, okay, you can do this, but also your opponent special summons a monster from the graveyard. It's like, excuse me?
Yeah, you can't do this unless your opponent does.
And that leads us to the pens.
Doremi.
Doremi.
No, these are cute. I like these things. It's nice to see a full pendulum archetype come out in the current year.
Yeah, it is nice to see pens come back, but I don't know, I'm just really lukewarm on these in general.
They're definitely the most like by the numbers. It's like standard.
Well, literally, considering they're even on focus.
Yeah, like they all have different levels. They all do a different thing, and it's like one searches monsters, traps, spells, and the only thing that really stands out is the main spell, like Elegance, where like
Elegance.
It's basically monkey board. Return to monkey board.
Activate monkey mode. It's a nice consistency booster, but it's just I don't know. This deck doesn't seem to have much of a goal, and I'm not super huge on the aesthetic either.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like harkening back to the old age of Pendulum, where like summon lots of monster, sweet,
do nothing. But like, I think the old days of Pendulum actually kind of facilitated that in interesting ways, because you had Ignites, which were all about popping your own shit left and right to set up for a big summon. You had Magispectors, which were about using your big summon in order to use them as ammo for your back row. You had Cleforts, which would use their recurring aspect to kind of negate the downside of tribute summons. And those are the main ones that come back to.
Yeah, this is the kind of performer pal side of the things, where it's just like, look at all these monsters
that I just found. It's I don't know. I'm so lukewarm on these. I don't think they're incredibly bad or anything, but I have no strong feelings on these things.
Yeah, the whole set's pretty weak.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The last deck build pack wasn't too hot either, aside from Drytrons, but their day in the sun looks like it's up.
It's very short-lived, but you know, these things happen. I think they are still kind of scared of the Sky Striker thing, where they just made the best deck for 2 years straight.
I feel that one was kind of like a combination of other issues too, because like the ban list didn't really directly hit them, and I think they kind of realized we don't have anything in these new sets that can take over the power void if we ban them.
No, that's also their fault as well, because they made the cards.
That is true. That, you know what? You're kind of right. No matter which way you slice it, it is kind of Konami's fault that they fucked this up.
It's like two years later, it's like still not managed to make a better deck than Sky Striker. Ah, oh, God bless. They've got to unban him at some point as well. That's the worrying thing.
Time for dinos too. But after that, this is the thing that I'm most excited for. This is a smaller thing, but it's the thing I like the most. It's the thing I'm the biggest fan of. Cyberdarks.
Cyberdarks. I love Cyberdarks.
I love them so much. They're so stupid, but it's one of those things where it's like I played it as a kid, so now as an adult I have this weird attachment to it.
Yeah, it's all like the attached shenanigans of what do you call it? It's just like sending. Oh, what's it called?
Cyberdark End?
No, Quasar from the extra deck to the graveyard. And attaching it with like the big fusion, and then if your big fusion gets destroyed, you get some shooting star from your deck.
Hell yeah! I love that this deck was kind of the first thing to kind of really get into. I mean, there was like Cycle of Necros or whatever beforehand, but this was the first one to really get into
sending things from the extra deck to the graveyard.
Yeah. Um, and it's fun that they seem to kind of still be playing with that. And I like the new stuff that we've seen so far. We've only seen 3. That is Cyberdark End Dragon, who is a fuck you beat stick, which
It's
you will
fucking
more often
massive.
than not make 10k.
It is just unnecessarily big and like untargetable, which is
Yeah,
fair.
I mean-
It's a GX boss monster, so you know,
Big number.
big number.
But I mean, that's the thing I kind of like. It'll still kind of hinge on how the rest of the support is, but Cyberdarks actually have a turn 1 and turn 2 option now, because some of the
Yeah.
new support made Cyberdark Nest Dragon a lot easier to make.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was setting up the 5 materials to actually summon it.
Yeah,
But the new stuff is pretty good. Like Cybernetic Horizon being able to like be searched and then search again is
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. A lot of decks would
It-
love that.
yeah. I mean, dude, it's an extra deck mill, it's a main deck mill, it's a search. It is 3 fucking things in one card, and the only thing that goes wrong is that you have to like go minus technically, but fuck it, dude. You are getting so much value out of this at the same time.
This is like the same sort of vibes as Spirit Gates and Dark Summoning Beast, whatever it's called, in the
Yeah.
Sacred Beasts, where like you just chain the 2, and there's like your resource loop.
Yeah, I think
Obviously
the
not
one
quite
down.
as refined, but one
Yeah,
downside.
I think the one downside to it is that it does specifically mention that you have to send 2 Cyberdark or Cyber cards with different attributes to the graveyard.
That
So
is
you're gonna need to like, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that's intentional, because otherwise it's subject to a bit of abuse.
Yeah, but I mean you have to have a Cyberdark in hand anyways, so like it needs you to discard 1 from hand and from deck. So you still do need to have you can't really use it as like a 1 card engine. You do still need to have something in hand. But I guess they really do want to push no, play these 2 decks together. Kind of they want to play that kind of angle on it, which means that you don't really have a lot of good options. You have Core, who is nice and I guess can search Cybernetic Horizon, but at that point you've used up your normal summon and you can't normal summon Chimera.
No, not really. Not unless like you do some really, really esoteric stuff with the field spell by bouncing another Cyberdark on the field, which just isn't feasible.
Yeah. What else is there? There's hers, which you can send, I guess, to get stuff in the graveyard. And you can, if you really want that big brain energy, send Cyber Pharaohs for the true fucking power bond searcher.
The OG, forgotten one.
God, I can't believe we finally got a power bond searcher that's actually halfway decent.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I mean, you can't use it like that turn for anything anything good, but fuck it,
Yeah.
Power Bond Searcher.
Well, I mean, you can actually get into Cyber End Dragon like turn 1, I think, with it, with just like a 2-card combo, 2.5 cards. I mean.
That's not too bad. And speaking of Cyber Dragons themselves, I think, ironically, they're the weakest end of the support.
Yeah, I mean,
'cause,
we're
like-
still gonna have to wait to see what else, because I imagine they're gonna introduce some shit other than like Dark. Like I'm fully expecting a Cyber Ogre retrain.
I still think that's just not like
Did-
it's out of the range of it's too cyber. If that makes sense. I know it's cyber. I know it's cyber style, but it's like, is that too wacky?
That maybe because they were used by Shepard, who used them in the fucking anime where he lived in an ancient dojo that had machines.
Of course.
GX was a ride.
We got our games on.
It's time to get your Chaz game. What am I saying?
Oh,
I've suffered brain damage like multiple times throughout my life, and it's coming to a head now. But yeah, I think that's mostly it for like that. But I am hoping that they'll have some better stuff for the Cyber Dragon end, and also that it will have more good things in terms of different attributes that would do shit in the graveyard, so Cybernetic Horizon can have more of a purpose to exist, you know?
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. I can't see it not, like... It'll be functional. Like, they made the Ice Barrier one function, they'll make this function.
Yeah.
They've still got, like, what, 2 or 3 cards left of new support?
At least 2, because I think these decks are generally at least 5 new cards. Plus, there's, even if they reprinted all the old Cyberdark stuff, that's only 9 cards, and like 7 of them are in the main deck.
Yeah, those things take up a lot of space because there's just so many of them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think after that is from Cyber Dragons to Signer Dragons.
Dawn of Majesty.
This is the best present to receive after learning that Jet Synchron just got run over by a truck in my backyard because I did it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, I like what I'm seeing with these guys. It's nice to see, like, the sort of weirder side of, like, the 5D Synchron monsters getting a bit of love, and not just, like, straight up Stardust.
Yeah, it's nice to see, like, Majestic monsters kind of be playable again. I mean, there were only 2 of them to begin with, and the Red Dragon Archfiend one kind of sucked, but Stardust Majestic, the original, I Still Wager, is a pretty fucking good card for minus the stupid end phase, like, bounce, but they've got a new continuous spell that pretty much stops that nonsense right in its tracks, so you can keep making your plays, and it even has the added bonus of making all your fucking big Stardust Dragons unbounceable.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, you didn't really, like, expect it to, like, be that strong, but, like, sometimes, like, that means, like, their only way of, like, getting rid of your monsters is to either, like, destroy them, which they'll negate, or banish, which a different one will negate.
Yeah.
So your options are, like, just get negated.
Yeah, get negated, bitch.
I particularly enjoy the continuous trap.
Oh yeah, the one that that kind of
revive. When you tribute a synchro monster, Stardust Synchro,
it brings it right back, right?
Yeah.
And they're all soft ones per turn.
Yeah, and I found what you can do is, for all those who play Assault mode, you can tribute a Stardust for Assault mode, and then bring it back, and then do it again. So your end board can be double, like, Stardust Assault mode. I know, it's not
double ass pound.
Yeah, no, it's not like the most impressive thing in the world, but you know, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that one's like a nice one-up to run, and you've got, what was it? Majestic Absorption, which is just fuck you, I win now.
It's my monster.
Majestic Absorption is so unnecessary but so great.
And the main deck ones are pretty good. I like the Synchron.
Yeah, dude, Synchron is fucking amazing. He does everything I wanted him to because he's a graveyard recursion card. And, like, let's say your Junk Synchron gets, like, impermed or whatever. You can tribute him with Stardust Synchron, and then you can get a search off that and continue to make some sort of plays.
Yeah, it's nice to know, like, they've like sort of like had a workaround, like, for the negate, considering, like, because it's an older deck, it does get stopped in its tracks quite easily. I've noticed the Stardust Trail also, like, it chain blocks on tribute.
Oh yeah.
So if you tribute that Junk Synchron, like you said, you search effect goes off, but then you can also activate the graveyard effect trail to bring that out, and that would chain block, and you still get your search.
Yeah, and you got you also got stuff like Stardust Illuminate to even set that up to get all your shit in the graveyard, or even special summon if you got a Stardust Boy.
But no, it's really cool. I like this, and I like the boss monster as well. Is also a nice replacement for Majestic.
I'm gonna say more so it's kind of like an alternative to Majestic almost, because I think they both got their cases. Majestic Star Dragon is more so what you use against haha set 5 pass, because it gets rid of everything they've got. Like literally wipes their entire field. But shooting Majestic is probably better in other cases, especially for doing OTKs and stuff. He's even got the in addition to his regular negate, he's got a spell speed 1 ignition effect negate that doesn't go off, that doesn't stop when the turn ends.
Like a permanent negate.
Yeah, it is like spell speed 1 ignition, but you know, Konami's been on about that for some reason. It also doesn't target, so that's, you know.
So it's swings and roundabouts. Sometimes it will have more one way than the other.
Yeah. I just really like this card.
I just think they're neat.
I just think they're neat. Yeah, and fucking, what the hell did the Majestic one do? That just spits out like a level 1 from deck. Yeah, Wish Converging Dragon. He looks like a motorcycle.
He misses timing, which is a little concerning for a cover archetype.
Laughs in TG Hyper Librarian.
Yeah,
for real though. Don't have TG Hyper Librarian and the continuous spell draw at the same time. You will fuck up.
You shouldn't be doing that. Not in this day and age.
We live in a wish converging society.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I really like the wish converging because he also allows you to do stupid stuff with Brotar. You can search Levianeer or Doppel Warrior, which is really nice.
Is that Doppel?
Yeah, if you have Jump Synchron on the field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's search why actually. I've never actually read Brotar. It's one of those things I look at it and it's like I see it do things and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just
get violently ill.
Just finish your turn. I can't stick this.
Fucking, but Levianeer is a nice tech choice too because he can he's always live if you have Brotar, and also if you've got your 3 lights in the graveyard, you can bring back someone else to continue extending.
That's cool. What do you do from there though? Because it's level 8.
You make Blazar and a Majestic Dragon and cockslack your opponent. They shouldn't have come to my part of town. They knew what was going to happen.
Welcome to the real Starlight Junction. Tell Jack Atlas we're pulling up. Other than that, there's only one major reveal, and that's the magic key.
Well, there's also the ships.
How many did they get released? There's only 5 cards?
There's enough of Sue ships released to talk about, but let's talk about Magic Key first. I don't understand this deck.
It's a deck. It's that one. It's one where they go here's the deck that does everything. It has a normal monster, it has a tuner, it's a ritual monster. Everything's level 4.
The ritual monster's a tuner.
Everything's level 8. and
amazing. After Drytrons being our first machine rituals, we get more, and now they're also the fucking tuner rituals.
Yeah, I think they're really starting to get a bit wacky with what they can do. I don't know how the fusion works with the rituals, but I'm sure it does interesting things.
My issue with them is that they kind of have this weird focus on attributes that they don't entirely seem to work too well with. It's this weird thing where it's like, oh, if we have... Oh, sorry?
They're not fully committed to it.
Yeah, they've got these things where it's like, oh, if you have these 2 different rituals, you can do these 2 different attributes, and they share one with what your opponent has, you can negate it or draw it or whatever. I don't know. These things are very scattershot in kind of terms of what the hell they want to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on things like the normal monster, and I was thinking with the attributes, would this work with like ballpark or something?
I've heard the Tenyi people going like apeshit over this and the sushi one too.
Keep alluding to the sushi. I know you want to talk about the sushi.
I absolutely do want to talk about the sushi.
It's like,
the sushi's
just
great.
The gun, your time has passed.
Yeah, that one's boring and lame, and I don't understand it. Suships are...
Yo! It's sushi and the ship. No, this is the meme deck. Like, Melfi, eat your heart out.
Dude, these are like the first fire aquas we've had since Chemicrit or Carbo Crab. Just I really like these in terms of aesthetics because everything about them is related to like ordering sushi and stuff. Like even their trap, which allows you to grab something from deck, is like, okay, show your opponent the menu.
Yeah, I think it shows that like they're willing to like make themes where like they stick to a theme of like how an effect should like how it could work in like a physical space.
Yeah. And I appreciate that to a certain degree, especially if it's like, I don't always need decks to be amazing, I just need them to be competent, and these look competent enough, I think. Like, they're not going to be tier 0 or anything, but they look like a fun little thing, and they'll probably get a bit more in terms of support, I think.
Yeah, well, it's an OCG premiere, so you'll get support. Not unlike the TCG.
Yeah.
And finally, Gizmex.
Yeah, these ones are they've been kind of alluding to this for a while, but they finally made them their own archetype, and they're based around like machines that have the same attack and defense. And I feel like something bad is going to happen with some of these.
Yeah, it has like engine written all over it. Don't say it. Anyway, don't fucking do it. But honestly, it gives me.
I wrote engine all over these cards. Sorry, he violently upon holding that back.
No, it gives me like danger vibes.
I feel in danger too. Don't worry.
Where like it's just like you play like a certain subset of them to like do something, like to like obtain advantage.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like, it's hard for me to say, but I really do feel like there's some potential for some of these. I just don't know what it is, because you've got the boar, who is like a level 4 water that special summons itself. So, you know how that is. You know what they say about level 4 waters. They're totally awesome. I could physically feel you shrinking up when you heard that.
Oh god.
God.
I shouldn't say it, but it's true.
Yeah. You've got the toad, which I guess stacks stuff. You've got the fat cock, which is interesting. Because it's essentially
Spanish.
It's essentially a lone fire for level 1 machines that share attack and defense. Which means Mechlord Core is now searchable. Mechlord's tier 0. Fear my synchro power.
Oh, based. Cool.
Yeah, red build.
Finally, a meta with Mechlords and Stardust.
I take it back. Let's go to a different meta. I don't like this one anymore.
5D's meta. 5D's meta.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I haven't even watched the anime.
Neither have I.
That's it. That's it for like main actual.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention the field spell because it's got like a, it's got a weird floodgate effect attached to it.
Oh, it's like 10 counters. Like your opponent can't do anything. Something like that.
Once per turn, VFD.
You hate to see it. He knew he'd
Yeah.
find his way back eventually.
But after that, it's just kind of some announcements.
Yeah, it's just like
I've come to make an announcement.
King's Court, Ra's disciple, back again, performing for you.
About time to shut up.
About time too. We gotta kill that meme, dude.
Yeah, we gotta take it out back along with the fucking written all over joke.
No, I think the King's Court thing doesn't interest me as much as the God structure decks do.
I'm half in agreement there because I feel like King's Court is going to be when we're finally going to see the new Inzektor card.
Yeah, I feel like that makes the most sense. If it's not going to be in Ghost of the Past, it will be probably in King's Court.
Yeah. I guess part of the problem is that once again, both it and the Utopia structure deck that's coming out, we know so little about, except that the Utopia structure deck says it'll also focus on Kite and Sharks, which I'm taking to mean will just mean they'll slap in one or two other Ixies monsters in the deck.
I want to think they'll like at least halfway merge them together, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be just a complete mess.
Yeah. But yeah, King's Court exists. We don't really know a lot about it, except it's going to be like a Toon Chaos style set where it's like, okay, support the God cards, haha. And
again.
Oh, about time too. Let's just sit here in silence. Let's not talk of what I just said.
You know, if we were a proper show, we'd roll to a commercial, but
if we were a proper show, we'd all be dead. Anyways, the God structure decks. The most we really know about them. Sorry?
I can see a lot of the Slifer one being sat on shelves while the Obelisk one gets bought out.
Maybe. Like, it's really going to depend on what they actually do for them, because both of them have the same problems in that their consistency is less than a brick.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no arguing.
It's just going to need a lot of fixing. We know we're guaranteed to get the attack cards, and I think we're getting the one that lets you kaiju your opponent's field, but I'm not certain.
I think so, but it's just not enough, really. I think we said it when they all got revealed. It's just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting like 3 or so new cards each, I think. So maybe that will be their consistency boost. But who fucking knows? And the last thing I think is the Duelist Pack stuff, which we thought were rumors. It's like, oh shit, Skull Flames, and then it's like, oh, what the fuck is Floor?
It's even worse. It's just one card. It's like
it's how many cards is this actually? Let me look this up.
The Chevalier de Fleur is like one card and it has Fleur Synchron attached to it. But I know
there's 5 Fleur cards and literally one of them is a wind monster.
Cool.
Why do they keep doing this?
Because there's just not a lot of wind. There was never a lot of wind representation in the first place, especially in the anime. I think they're trying to like compartmentalize, because they've already done things like harpies in recent memory.
Yeah.
But then again, they've also done speedroids.
Well, they're doing them again. It's nice to see Lyrilisk.
Yeah, I think they've had a long time coming.
Yeah, so it's nice that they're actually getting some support, and hopefully it will be decent and not absolutely terrible. It's hard to say though. These Duelist packs are always such a mixed bag.
Yeah, they're never not awful. Like you always get at least something playable out of them.
Yeah, but it just can vary so much, because sometimes you get weird shit like you get a set that's really polarizing, like Legendary Duelist 4, where it's like half the set with trains and Lunalights were fantastic, and the other half is like, why did you even bother making this? Why did you put this bizarre focus on Harpy Lady Sisters, one of objectively the worst cards made?
I think it's just look at the draw. I think sometimes, especially when like in the anime where a character has a focus on a card, that becomes the card, and it's not ideal, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's about it, though. There's not a whole lot else we can really discuss.
Yeah, not without like looking too far in the future to like confidently speculate.
Yeah, we gotta peek into the future. Use our big boy brains.
The crystal ball. But no, we just wanted to get like the ban list out of the way.
Yeah, and we didn't like cleared off some other stuff off the table too. So yeah, that was the episode.
The minicast, shortest episode ever. Get out of here.
If we see any of you again, we will piss and shit.
Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
I'm doing it right now.
Uncontrollably. No, look what you've done. He stayed and now he's pissed and he's shat. Great ending. Quality.
I'm gonna add clapping sound effects there.
This is the content you will come for.
I came to.
About time too. Okay, cut. That's it. We're done.
That's the ending.